Linia Super is a second of the Linia Games bundle and follows on from Linia Stripes that came out last year. The idea behind this game is that you're trying to look for a colour sequence, and this is always what Linia games seem to be about, finding sequences or patterns. This one's all about colour, and you'll see at the top of the screen in every level that I'm playing, there's a collection of circles coloured in different shades or colours or hetches. And the idea is that you're trying to draw a single line at somewhere through the level that emulates that colour sequence. The problem is that each level has moving parts, patterns that reoccur, or as you start to move your mouse, the level refracts and changes its perception depending on where you move your mouse and what you're doing with it. So it means that you need to A, work out what the sequence is and where it appears on the level, B, draw the line in advance, and then C, let go at the right time so that when everything matches up, you get the level clear and move on. There's about 220 levels across Linia Super, and I really love the fact that almost everything is available to you from the very get-go, and they're grouped the levels into different types of patterns. So if you want to play around with gravity grayscale levels, you've got a section on that. But if you want some weird and wonderful puzzles that go around like Karelia patterns and like different geometric shapes that are spinning around, you've got levels and sections dedicated to that, and you can just hop in and out depending on what it is you fancy playing at that time. Every level has two different modes as well. You've got the initial level, which is just drawing the line and seeing what happens. The second one is then called hot mode, and you unlock these once you've completed a collection of levels dedicated to that type of shape or level type. But the hot levels increase not only the amount of things going on screen, but the colour chain that you're trying to create, and makes it much more timing specific. So you can't hang around, there will be specific like half-second gaps where you've got the ability to just go ping, done. And if you're looking for a challenge, it's really the hot mode that provides that. The initial levels don't normally do that. It's much more aimed at a casual, quirky audience, I would say. The interesting thing with Linia Super is that it presents a lot of information on the screen through these complex patterns and like rotating sequences, and it's all very charming and cute, but actually you need to ignore half of the things that are going on screen to solve the actual puzzle and focus in on your colour sequence. And it was almost an exercise in being able to zone in on the information I needed and ignore the rest, whilst also going ooh, because I quite like all of that kind of abstract geometric pattern sequencing things. I think it's a good art style. The other thing that I'd say about Linia Super is that quite often I was trying to look at ways how I could dissect the level with a giant line through it. That's not the way to play this game all the time. You can, it makes it much harder, but you can sneak in at the corner of a level and do something really cheeky. And because Linia Super is so open-ended like that, it kind of rewards you for doing so. Hot mode does normally drag you down a being brave of a striking line across a larger chunk of the level, but when you're trying to get through those initial kind of levels and get into grips with Linia Super's quirks and intricacies, I recommend being a bit cheeky sometimes and not really playing the game probably as it was intended. I'm not entirely sure, but the fact that it lets you do it, why not? If this type of game interests you, I'd probably recommend getting the Linia Games bundle, which contains both Stripes and Super, because you get it at a discount, and that's available both on Steam and on itch.io as well. So yeah, if you've never seen these games before and it's up your street, grab both, why not? Psychedelic and geometric fun for all. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.